Hi students, welcome to lesson number 18 on National Policy for Children. Now introduction for the lesson. Child rights are children's human rights with a focus on the rights to protection and community that minors have. Child rights are integral for the development of children. To ensure that children have these rights and to meet international obligations, the Indian government in collaboration with civil society has implemented a variety of policies and programs. These efforts strive to protect and nurture children's childhoods by ensuring that they have access to basic rights such as survival, protection, development and participation. India has ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child as well as its two optional protocols on the sale of children, child prostitution and child pornography, as well as on children participating in armed conflict. It aims to safeguard children from the vicious attitudes of poverty, misery, exploitation and other forms of abuse. We have highlighted the importance of child rights through numerous measures since the promulgation of our Constitution. Now, objectives of this lessons are that this lesson will help the students to understand the national policies and legislations meant for children. Now, we will try to discuss about the policies meant for children. The development of children determines the level of a nation's advancement. Many policy initiatives have been undertaken in India to guide programs to ameliorate the conditions of children in India. Some significant policies for children are: the first one, the National Policy on Children 1974, and this policy considers the nation's children as a supremely important asset and observes that children's programs should find a prominent place in national plans for the development of human resources, so that children grow up to become robust citizens. And the objectives of this policy are to provide adequate services to children both before and after birth and through the period of growth to ensure their full physical, mental and social development, and to progressively increase the scope of such services so that within a reasonable time all children in the country enjoy optimum conditions for their balanced growth. In order to achieve these objectives, certain measures are suggested which includes comprehensive health program for children, free and compulsory education for children till the age of 14 years, equality of opportunity for all children, protecting children from exploitation, cruelty and neglect, constituting National Children's Board are among others. Now, we will discuss about the National Policy on Education, that is NPE 1986, which is a program of action POA 1992. As you all know that education is the birthright of each child, and NPE 1986 and POA 1992 is an important policy intervention highlighting early childhood care and education and elementary education with a child-centered approach. Part 5 on reorganization of education at different stages includes ECCE, that states recognizing the holistic nature of child development, namely nutrition, health and social, mental, physical, moral and emotional development. ECCE will receive high priority and be suitably integrated with the Integrated Child Development Services, that is ICDS. Elementary education focuses on universal enrollment and universal retention of children up to 14 years of age and a substantial improvement in the quality of education. This policy led to the launch of the National Elementary Education Mission, that is Education for All, in 1993 and the District Primary Education Program in 1994. Now, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan seeks to achieve the goal of universalization of elementary education. National Policy on Child Labour 1987 is the policy that focuses on rehabilitation of children working in hazardous occupation and processes. The action plan outlined in the policy for tackling this problem is as follows, that is, Legislation Action Plan for strict enforcement of Child Labour Act and other labour laws to ensure that children are not employed in hazardous employments and that the working conditions of the children working in non-hazardous areas are regulated in accordance with the provision of the Child Labour Act. It also entails further identification of additional occupations and processes which are detrimental to the health and safety of the children. Further, focusing of children development programs for benefiting child labour. Since poverty is a main cause of child labour, the action plan emphasizes the need to cover these children and their families under various poverty alleviation and employment generation schemes of the government. Project based plan of action envisages starting of projects in areas of high concentration of child labour. And as a result, in 1988, the National Child Labour Project, that is NCLP scheme, was launched in 9 districts of high child labour endemicity in the country. The scheme envisions running of special schools for child labour withdrawn from work. In the special schools, these children are provided formal and non-formal education along with vocational training with a stipend of rupees 100 per month and supplementary nutrition and regular health checkups so as to prepare them to join regular mainstream schools. Under the scheme, funds are given to the district administration for running special schools for child labour, and most of these schools are run by the NGOs in the district. The coverage of the NCLP scheme has increased from 12 districts in 1988 to 100 districts in the 9th plan. Now, the National Plan for SARC Decade of the Girl Child 1991-2000. The member states of the SARC region met at Male in 1990 and declared 1991 23 policies and programs for children in India 2000 as the SARC Decade for the Girl Child. In response, the Government of India launched a National Plan of Action with a central theme, that is survival, protection and development. The purpose was to provide equal opportunity to the girl child, acknowledging her low status in society. The main goals of the plan were survival and protection of the girl child and safe motherhood, overall development of the girl child and special protection for vulnerable girl children in difficult circumstances and belonging to special group. The National Nutrition Policy 1993 states that widespread poverty resulting in chronic and persistent hunger is the single best bane of the developing world. The physical expression of this continuously reenacted tragedy is the condition of undernutrition, which manifests itself among large sections of the poor, particularly amongst the women and children. Undernutrition is a condition resulting from inadequate intake of food or more essential nutrients, resulting in deterioration of physical growth and health. Nutrition is a multi-sectoral issue and needs to be dealt with at various levels. Nutrition affects development as much as development affects nutrition. Nutrition policy instrument in its strategy states that the problem of nutrition has to be tackled both through direct nutrition intervention for specially vulnerable groups as well as through various development policy instruments which will create for improved nutrition. Now, the National Population Policy 2000. The objective of this policy are to meet the reproductive and child needs, to bring the total fertility rate, that is TFR, to replacement level by 2010 and to achieve a stable population by 2045 at a level consistent with the requirements of sustainable economic growth, social development and environmental protection, and to simultaneously address issues of child survival, maternal health and contraception. In order to achieve these objectives, the policy formulated national socio-demographic goals to be achieved in each case. Now, the National Health Policy 2002. The National Health Policy was last formulated in 1983 and the main objective of this policy is to achieve an acceptable standard of good health amongst the general population of the country. The approach would be to increase access to the decentralized public health system by establishing new infrastructure in deficient areas and by upgrading the infrastructure in the existing institutions. It seeks to ensure a more equitable access to health services across the social and geographical expanse of the country. The National Health Policy 2002 endeavors to achieve the time-bound goals like reducing infant mortality rate to 30 per thousand live births and maternal mortality rate to 100 per lakh live births by 2010. By increasing health expenditure by government as a percent of GDP from the existing 0.9% to 2% by 2010. Now, the National Charter for Children 2003. The Charter adopted on 9th February 2004 emphasizes government's commitment to children's rights. It intends to secure for every child its inherent right to be a child and enjoy a healthy and happy childhood, to address the root causes that negate the healthy growth and development of children, and to awaken the conscience of the community in the wider social context to protect children from all forms of abuse while strengthening the family, society and the nation. The policy sets forth goals to ensure and protect the survival, life and liberty of all children and to promote high standards of health and nutrition, and also to assure basic minimum needs and security, and to give importance to play and leisure, early childhood care, free and compulsory primary education, protection from economic exploitation and all forms of abuse, protection of the girl child, empowering adolescents, equality, freedom of expression, freedom to seek and receive information, freedom of association and peaceful assembly, strengthening family responsibilities of both parents and protection of children with disabilities, care, protection, welfare of children of marginalized and disadvantaged communities, ensuring child-friendly procedures. Now, the National Plan of Action 2005. The plan commits itself to ensure all rights to all children up to the age of 18 years. It emphasizes survival, protection, development and participation of children. The guiding principles of the plan of action are: first, to regard the child as an asset and a person with human rights. Second, to address issues of discrimination emanating from biases of gender, class, caste, race, religion and legal status in order to ensure equality. Third, to accord utmost priority to the most disadvantaged, poorest of the poor and least served child in all policy and programmatic interventions. And fourth, to recognize the diverse stages and settings of childhood and to address the needs of each, providing to all children the entitlements that fulfill their rights and meet their needs in each situation. The plan has identified 12 key areas, keeping in mind priorities and the intensity of the challenges that require utmost and sustained attention. These are to reduce maternal mortality rate, reduce malnutrition among children, achieve 100% civil registration of births, universalization of early childhood care and development and quality education for all children, achieving 100% access and retention in schools, complete abolition of female feticide, female infanticide and child marriage and ensuring the survival, development and protection of the girl child, improving water and sanitation coverage both in rural and urban areas, addressing and upholding the rights of children in difficult circumstances, securing for all children all legal and social protection from all kinds of abuse, exploitation and neglect, complete abolition of child labor with the aim of progressively eliminating all forms of economic exploitation of children, monitoring, review and reform of policies, programs and laws to ensure protection of children's interests and rights, and ensuring child's participation and choice in matters and decisions affecting their lives. To summarize, children are an asset of a country and all steps have to be taken in their best. India is committed to the rights of child and is ratified the Convention on the Child Rights of the Child in 1992. Various policies like National Policy on Children in 1974, NPE 1986, National Nutrition Policy 1993, National Population Policy 2002, etc. highlight the importance of achieving targets to ensure development of children. In response, the programs focus on critical areas of education, survival, health, safety and well-being of children.